This is Unequal with your hosts, Jaycee Carroll and RJ Salveson. After a 3-year hiatus break, or 3-month hiatus break due to Jaycee, not me, we're back again, unequaled, after 3 weeks. Jaycee, I remember when you told me that I inspired you to do a podcast. Have I uninspired you now to do a podcast?
Oh, man. I'm more inspired and excited than ever to do this.
He's wrapped up in a blanket, by the way. He looks like a 5-year-old right now. He's wrapped up in a blanket in a room that feels like it's 80 degrees right now.
He has a man cold.
He has a man cold right now.
I've told you this. I don't get sick. I'm just a little cold right now.
When guys get sick, it's like another story.
It is. I like to really, sink my teeth into my illness to get, the treatments and the spoils that I deserve. How's basketball? How's girls basketball?
Girls basketball is good. We've had a week of practice. We've get a group of girls that play hard, they practice hard, they listen. I'm really optimistic. We've had 2 games already, and we won one, lost one, and just kind of moving on. Game tonight, game on Tuesday. We got a lot of games right now.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
We play, so we just got done from a Colorado tour. We were in Colorado. We left Saturday, came home Wednesday, and then we leave to Omaha, Nebraska on Monday, and then we fly from Omaha to Florida, and then we're there till Saturday. And we come home Saturday night, and then we're here for 2 days, and we go to Salt Lake and play at the Delta Center. Come home for 2 days, and then we're in Grand Canyon. Come home for 1 day, and then we're in Idaho. So we don't play a home game until December 18th now. We have 9 straight road games.
Holy cow. That's quite a stretch.
It's brutal. Yeah,
It's quite a stress.
hopefully they go forward. Yeah, hopefully they can start winning some games too. They're going to need to win probably 2 out of the next 3. They played Ohio State on Friday, top 10 team in the country. And
At home.
No, in Florida. We're at Daytona Beach.
Cool.
I've never been to Daytona Beach. Have you, Jaycee?
I've never been to Daytona Beach.
Really? Wow, you should take your family on vacation. I think they'd like it. Disney World, no.
How you feel about that?
I'm not like huge Disney World fan.
Oh, don't.
Not big Disney World people.
I love Disney, but like all the people, that's like another level. And all the lines.
We'd kind of rather go somewhere where, I don't know,
Spain. Yeah, where everybody knows and loves Jaycee now.
Oh. Just kidding. I go there to shop. You see all my friends now.
This podcast should have happened probably when we started, and it didn't because Jaycee was too afraid to ask. But now I got the courage to ask her, and she said yes. So here in live edition is the better half of the Carroll family, the leader of the Carroll family. She does everything. God bless the American housewife. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Baylee Carroll. Baylee, hi.
Hello.
It is so good to have you here.
I know. This is fun.
I feel like you're going to be more entertaining than Jaycee is in a podcast. Like,
of course.
Yeah. Anyone that knows us knows that about her.
well, I don't know you guys because they don't let me come over and hang out with you.
Well, I just invited you.
Actually, she did.
Because we have a lot of things in common, but I found her because she added spice to my life that I needed. She got me out of my comfort zone in a lot of things, and those are a lot of things that got me attracted to her from the very beginning. That hasn't changed. She's still the spice of my life. She still gives all the adventure I have.
You may tell me. Go ahead.
I'm like, keep going. Okay.
Sometimes on my end, I wonder if she thinks that she's married to a boring old man. I don't think I'm a boring old man, but compared to her, sometimes I might be that. A lot of crickets.
That was good. You will not be on the couch tonight.
I was like,
Good. I've heard this in years. No.
mic drop.
Okay, so I remember I actually went back and read a story when you guys were in college and you were dating. I want to hear the story of how you met from your point of view, because I think it'll be better and more truthful. And how that all came to be.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was my first year touring up at Utah State, and we had to do study hall. And I was in study hall, and I couldn't get my chair to function, like pop up and down. And I just was trying to change the level. And he says to me, "You must be a cheerleader." And the country girl I am, it wasn't like, oh, ha ha ha. It was more like, who is that? He's but fist up in the air, but he helped me and I learned kind of more about him and we got each other's number and our first date was on New Year's Eve
Where'd you guys go?
in Logan at the Center Street. Who was it with? Was it with Ty Wesley?
Ty Wesley, Matt Parmathon with us.
You went on a double date with Ty and Matt?
Well, it wasn't planned. We were trying to drive to Salt Lake.
I was obviously second option. I was at a party, but I didn't really like, and he was scared of driving in the snow to Salt Lake, so he's like, "Ooh, let's hit up Baylee."
So there was a terrible snowstorm. Me, Matt, and Ty we got over to Brigham, and we're like, we can't go any farther, and we're sitting around like we're a bunch of dudes with no girls on New Year's Eve. Like, let's call Baylee.
Like, I wasn't going to be doing anything. Like, of course I was. I think I'd been at already like 2 parties. It was kind of lame. It was in Brigham City, and I was actually driving back to Logan, so it was like very crazy. We were both coming from Brigham. And yeah, we just met up out in Center Street and had a snowball fight.
We were.
Did you hit her with the snowball?
Oh, of course.
Yes, I hit him harder because I have a go with some arm.
But you ever understand? We're in a little like Kia Sorento or something that Ty had, 2-wheel drive with those 2 big dudes in the car. Me and Baylee, like it was.
You didn't say, "Hey, Baylee, you should bring a couple gals with you," so Ty has someone to hang out with besides me.
They were all so excited to have me for themselves. Of course not. I need another person.
Yeah. But then, I mean, here's the honest truth. After that night, I think we pretty much just kind of hung out almost every day after that.
So that line worked.
So
You must be a cheerleader.
Like,
yes, I was actually like saying kind of some cuss words like, you must be an
Yeah,
B.
yeah.
But I was like, ugh.
We're a rated PG-13 podcast, so you can say it.
No.
Okay, so that was what year?
2000 and
freshman year, 2000, so 2005. No, 2004. Turned into 2000.
well, it turned into 2005 that night. So
Yeah.
Wow. That's easy to remember.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve date. Okay. And then during when as Jaycee Carroll was becoming the Jaycee Carroll, and you guys were dating, what was that experience like? Like hanging out with Jaycee in a public crowd probably wasn't a great option, was it?
well, I actually thought he was like, I don't know, not boring, but I'm just like, oh, he's just like a
Geppetto.
good old Geppetto.
Yeah.
She actually had shoes that year
That's what
that he wore to church that looked like Geppetto shoes.
Ty Wesley told me that story. This was wonderful.
And I like tried to burn him. But anyways, he was like different than anyone I'd ever dated. So it was kind of like weird for me. I was like, I mean, I always dated cool kids, don't get me wrong. True. But he was just more like calm and he was very humble and he could have not been. And I don't know, he was just different. And, you know, as we were dating, I still like, still dated a little bit. I still dated a little bit just because we wanted to have the full college experience and, you know, not just have one person. Like we wanted to, you know, be involved in other activities and do other things at the university. But yeah, we just kind of.
Was there ever a point where you guys, as you were not exclusive but dating others, where you said, you know what, this other person actually might work out? Was it like you were comparing every other person to, you know, Jaycee, Baylee comparing it to Jaycee?
Honestly, we broke up and got ish back together a few times, and we both dated, I think, great people. And I mean, we hurt each other's feelings during the process. Obviously, it wasn't the best thing, like being under under the lens with everyone seeing me cheer and him play, like, oh, and people come to talk to me, people obviously talking to him. But I mean, we just dated and.
Was there, yeah, and she, I mean, so she dumped me. Like, I never been dumped.
You do sound hurt right now, actually.
And like, I never been dumped, and we were dating, and you know, I was a little older, and you know, I was thinking that marriage was kind of in our future, and I think we had some of those conversations, and then and she was just kind of like, I'm not ready for that, and she dumped me.
It was scary. Like, I wasn't going to just, like, I wanted to date. I wanted to be involved in lots of activities and not.
Yeah, and it crushed me. Like, I spent that summer between my freshman and sophomore year, really, really sad. It was sad. I missed her. I knew how much I loved her at that time, and it was really hard to watch somebody that all you want to do really is spend every day of your life with her. Because that's where I was. I was like, what?
And that freaked me out.
It's like,
It sounds so, you're making it sound so horrible. Yes, it was horrible at the time, but for an 18-year-old girl, I was like, next.
Yeah. So look, it was heartbreaking. He would have dated one of his teammates. That probably would have been the worst thing in the world.
Yeah. I don't think anyone would have let that happen, but.
yeah, so it's heartbreaking. Like, I missed her and stuff like that, but we kind of moved on. But I don't know how we got back together. We ended up giving, I think you came back to me.
Yeah, we end up getting back together and like, hey, maybe let's work this out. We dated a little bit, and then do you want to drop the mic on what you did?
Oh,
Yeah, he broke up with me, and I was like, F you.
whoa, wait. Come out. No, you can say it. Absolutely, you can. Because he just sat there and gave me this whole spiel about how his freshman and sophomore year, he is down in the dumps.
So miserable.
He's miserable, but then you broke her heart? Okay, now explain this. Wait, can I ask what your side of the story is? And Jaycee, why you drill your basketball on her?
Too much, Dad.
At this point, I don't know what the exact reason was. It was like, hey,
Was there another girl?
no, there was
Kind of ish.
No.
Liar, pants on fire.
No.
And I was dating a football player.
no, like,
And
there were
Crazy would sneak. He like watched me like if I went out or what I did, and then it was like everyone kind of goes through that. You get jealous. You're like, who are they? Whatever.
I feel like I'm Dr. Phil in this.
I know.
I'm Mari.
Not recent.
So yeah, but then finally, and I think everyone that has a love story kind of goes through those things. Like, hey, is it time? Is it not time? And we had ours, and they came to a head.
Came to a head how? Like what?
Yeah, go ahead. It's you, I guess.
Well, do I like? Look
Good.
here. Okay, I'll tell you how it went. I had a boyfriend at the time. He was awesome, great. I don't know if I like saw like a future with him, but I was having fun. And Jaycee found me on campus in the institute area, and he's like, "Can I talk to you?" So we went in, we talked, and he's just like, "You were it for me. Like, it's gonna be me and you." And kind of like swept me off my feet, and I'm like, okay, let's have this conversation later, because right now I need to go break up with my boyfriend. And so I broke up with my boyfriend. He wasn't really surprised, so maybe he didn't see a future either. And me and Jaycee planned our wedding 2 months later.
Yeah. Holy heck. Hey, can I ask, what was student moral, and who was your church girl? Was it Linda Zimmerman?
Yeah.
I love Linda. She is the most... Linda, if you're going to listen to this, I highly doubt you.
I'm going to make you listen to this just because I dropped your name.
She is amazing. I went to school with Ryan, and Ryan was one of my heroes and still is to this day. I love that family. So can I ask about Linda and what Coach Morrill maybe thought about all of this?
Mm-hmm. Coach Morrow probably didn't give a rat's butt, but...
He would just always say, when Morin kids get married, they're lazy, a little wobbly on the corpse for a few months.
That's so true. That's like awesome. I don't know when he said that. That's so true. Anyways,
And then from Linda's perspective,
friend Linda,
Jay was there.
she was just like, he looks like fun. It looks like you're having fun. She was just really supportive. Don't worry. There's a few conversations I had with her where I was heartbroken or frustrated and stuff like that, she was always like a second mom to me. So she always gave me great advice and she was always on my side. But yeah, I love Linda and George and their family.
So, because didn't David Pack marry a women's basketball player or date one or marry it?
Yeah, he married one.
And I know there was a big article about that too, because I know Coach Morrow wasn't entirely thrilled about him dating a women's basketball player, if I remember right.
Well, it was very different circumstances. Billy and I had dated off and on for 3 years. The David Pack thing was like they'd hung out for like a month, and then they go, "Let's go." They say married. Like it was very different.
It was a little shocking.
Yeah,
but
for everybody.
Yeah.
Ours was less. People that knew us and interacted with us, like I think it made sense to them.
Yeah.
Tell them what your mom and dad said though when you said you were getting engaged.
They asked me to who? Who is it? Because we weren't dating at the time. We were dating, so who you get married to? And I was like, it's Baylee.
And were they happy? Or happy? Yes.
Like good face. Of course they were happy.
And then when you told your folks and your family, hey, marrying Jaycee Carroll,
they were very excited. They were like, finally. They said they knew forever, and yeah. Wasn't surprised to that.
When did you guys get married? What year?
2007.
Okay, and that was your senior year, right?
Yeah, that's summer before senior year.
Yeah. And again, I being in the limelight that Jaycee is as an Aggie, and I'm sure, like as you mentioned briefly before, like all the questions came about you and Jaycee time after time after time. Was it hard to deal with that attention for you?
No, just because Jaycee handles like attention so well that it wasn't ever a big deal. If anyone asked him about a game or good game or anything, he was just like, thanks. He kind of like left everything on the court, and that's something like I've always appreciated about him. He didn't bring home any feelings. He didn't talk about anything after, and so that was always, nice. But I mean, all the fans were super great. I still had the girls with Jaycee's name on their stomachs waving at me and didn't bother me, but like it's just like it was the Spectrum's a great atmosphere, and I mean, I have no complaints. There wasn't anything crazy. It was just great support from all the Aggies.
Former Skyview quarterback and Utah State football walk-on Ted Stokes has established the #1 bankruptcy law firm in the state of Utah. Stokes' law playbook is helping individuals and businesses overcome tough financial situations. If you are facing garnishment, repossession, foreclosure, or just overwhelming debt, give Stokes Law a call at 435-213-4771 or visit their website at stokesbankruptcy.com. That's stokesbankruptcy.com. Stokes Law is a debt relief agency and provides guidance under the United States Bankruptcy Code.
It was cool to be able to share the court with her. Like, yeah, we're married and she's on the court cheering, and we didn't do a lot of googly eyes or anything like that.
Did you make a signal to her, like if you were like about to inbound the basketball? If I remember, if I read this article right, you would turn and like just little signal behind your back, instead of like signaling to your team what the play is. You're like, yeah, coach got it. Hey, Baylee.
No, pretty much it would go like this. Like I would have a good game or we win a game and I get pulled out the last minute or two, and that's when I start looking at her. You're like, hey, what's going on? Like,
yeah, only when he was on the bench she would look like, but I didn't. I mean, obviously I watched him because that was part of my job. But yeah, no googly eyes. That's just weird. I didn't want anyone to barf. Like, ew. Because it is very, like, cheerleader, basketball. It's a movie.
Yeah.
And basketball wasn't my favorite sport. So, yeah.
What is your favorite sport, Baylee?
I like football.
Okay.
Yeah, my brothers liked football, and I just grew up with them as one of the guys. So, football, I was just like, oh, a big football player. Like, that's my type. And, yeah.
I feel bad, so I've asked you before, and I'd be remiss not to, but before you get more into your marriage life, tell me about your family, siblings and parents and all that.
I have 2 older brothers and 2 younger sisters, Justin, Dusty, Morgan, and Maddie. My mom and dad, I grew up in Garland over by Tremont, and we grew up on a big ranch, worked really hard. My dad did that, and my mom owned a dance studio, so I had the best of both worlds. like working hard, learning how to work hard, take care of animals. And then my mom was this beautiful like dance teacher. My dad was this big rugged rancher, and bam, made me. And I'm like, I feel like the best of both worlds with them. So anyways, I have a great family. We're close and we all work hard. We're all successful, and yeah.
So Jaycee, you finish out your senior year. It comes to an ending a little bit too soon, but then after the season is over, I'm sure did you have NBA scouts call? Like, what was that whole process like? And you were discussing with Baylee about your future after.
Yeah, so part of our discussions when we got married was, hey, are you okay if we play professional basketball? It could take us anywhere in the country. It could take us anywhere in the world. And with the, when we talked about that, what was your response?
I don't know. I can't really remember, but I was more just like, whatever, like wherever we go, whatever we do, like professional athletes or athletes after college, like it could be so short or so long. You don't know. One injury, you're done. We had some friends previous that, had played a year and then got hurt. Like I knew it was something that wasn't guaranteed to be long term. But at the time, so it was the very end of the year in March, and I found out I was pregnant before the cheer season got done. So yes, I was a knocked up cheerleader. But yeah, we kind of had another look on life. Like, okay, now we have another person we're bringing into the world. So that was more the like main focus of what we do next is like, let's take care of our family. But we just gave it a go, put him like he was in the draft, like all that, and we just threw the dice.
Yeah, and we had fun adventures. I mean, we got invited to the All-Star Game or the Final Four in San Antonio. And so she flew down to San Antonio. I was in the 3-point contest and the senior game, and went to the championship. And then, we did NBA Summer League. So we were 2 or 3 weeks in Vegas. Yeah, she came out to Vegas, and we just were playing games and living that. And then it was fun. We get calls from my agent like, hey, we got an offer from Italy. And so we would get on the computer and we'd look up everything about Italy and look up everything about the city. And then we get, hey, we got a team in Greece. So we get Greece, and it was fun to kind of look at those things and just go and imagine where we'd be and what we'd be doing. But ultimately, we got the first job we accepted was in Italy.
Were you going overseas as a soon-to-be mom, right? And then how?
Yes, all my kids were born overseas. So I was, how far along was I? Because
we got there September, and she was born in October. You were 8 months. Like you're probably past the legal flying limit of pregnancy.
But yeah, there I went. I was like on an adventure for sure, pregnant, not knowing where I was going, what we were doing, how long we'd be there. My family almost had a freaking heart attack. And that's when like there was only Skype.
Yep.
So, and we were like 8 hours ahead of them. So like the dial up to Skype, waiting to talk to someone, not talking to them for like 3 days. It took us like a few days to get there, and then we'd have internet, all the things. And everyone just like, Bailey's over there. She's going to have a baby. And I mean, it was.
Was that the hardest part just because how close you were to your family?
Yeah, I'm very like independent. So I wasn't, and my mom and dad will always say like, out of all of our kids, like you were the only one who could be away from family and go and start over and be alone. I think all my siblings, they've done different things like that. So we all were raised like very independent and capable of doing whatever comes our way. But it didn't really faze me. I was never really nervous. I was just like, well, what happens will happen. And then I got there, realized they didn't do epidurals. I didn't know what to expect, first baby, but I mean, it was what it was, and it was great.
You were able to be there, accomplish the season.
Oh, I was sitting in practice. I got a call in practice that she was in labor. So I was there in my practice gear. And she is very humble about the situation. When we got the job for Nita, like, hey, how's the hospitals? We're gonna have a baby. And the joke they made to me was, hey, we're not Africa. But we got there, and what was the birthing room like?
Honestly, it was horrific. There was like 13 women in there just having baby, having contractions, breastfeeding. It's just one giant room where all the action was happening. A cart going down full of babies. Like, so usually in the States, from what I've seen, like you get your baby and they just kind of come in and out. They might help you in the night, but they full on, I had my baby. They took my baby away from me for hours, and then they only gave me my baby like a couple times during the day with like their name written on their hand. And I was just, anyways, that's the least of my worries. The big thing was like all their machines like seriously had a piece of lead that like was monitoring my contractions. And when I told my mom, she was like, oh my gosh, that's like what my mom used when she had me. And I don't know, it was rusty, just disgusting. And
no epidural. And her table was a cookie sheet. It was
a silver
stainless steel metal.
Yes, like every time I pull out my cookie sheets, my big metal.
Yeah, PTSD probably from.
Yeah, they put me on that, and I was just like, "What is happening? Where am I?" And like I said, first baby, not really sure. But after my mom, she came like a month or so after, she was like, oh my hell. If I would have known this was a circumstance, there's no way in hell you would have gave birth there. And even my mother-in-law came. My mother-in-law, I was like 10 days late. So my mother-in-law was already there. And well, she flew in the day I had Bella. And she's like, I cannot believe it. Like she was just kind of horrified too.
What year did you have your first child?
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
Okay. And what year did you have your second child?
11.
Okay. And was that process any better because of your expectations of the whole thing?
Well, I realized I have my babies pretty quick once I'm ready and that I could do it natural. So my other one came even quicker. And then, yeah, I learned how to kind of do it myself because they were so nervous, like I would have my babies.
And able to make it to all of them, right?
Yeah, it was there for all. It was awesome. And
That's really amazing.
Yeah, that was Alba. She's born in the Canary Islands, and a lot better hospital situation.
A lot better hospital situation, but Jaycee almost missed that because he was taking photos with the doctors. Like he like missed it. Like the baby was out. When they put it on my chest, he walks in. And I was just yelling, get it here. And he's like, I didn't think you were going to have it that fast because I was in the waiting room. And I said, it's coming. They're like, okay, let's do this. And then it was out. And he, like, then they had, like, cameras even, not even cell phones. So I could see it flash. And I was just like, get me now. And, yeah, so I guess he was there.
I was there. Look, to my defense, so I dropped her off. And then I went and parked the car. And as I'm walking in, they stopped me at the front desk. And look. All you ever hear about are people like, oh, I was in labor for 12 hours. I was in labor for 18 hours. From the time she woke me up with contractions to the time Alba was in her hands was an hour and 10 minutes. I mean, it was an hour and 10 minutes.
So right when we got there, by the time I walked in the doors, it was like 5 minutes.
Yeah. I mean.
So he did go park the car. Like, it was pretty quick, but like.
I was being a gentleman. I dropped her off at the front door.
Right. Well, I always tell hope so.
So you can take this lady. And I said the whole way there, I'm like, she's coming out right now. Hold her in, hold her in. And I was just like trying. And then so when I walked in the door, it was
time we got. Can I ask what was right? What was like to raise your first child overseas? How long's your season?
10 months.
When does it start? When does it end?
September 1st, June 30th.
What was for you to have to raise a child? I mean, while he's out playing basketball, and he's very supportive and he could be there when he can, but at the same time.
I actually had a really good experience. I had another wife on that first team, but just had a baby too. And so she was right after me, right?
Yeah,
before me. I can't.
3 or 4 weeks apart.
Yeah. So we were really close and right next door. And she was awesome. Her name, Brenna
Hoover.
Hoover. And she was awesome. She helped me cook. She helped me like learn to be an awesome mom. And it was kind of nice just having a girl next door that kind of was in the same situation as me. But like to be able to stay home with your baby and not work or worry about money or anything else was like really nice.
And to be able to bond with somebody too must have been massive for you, Baylee.
Yeah.
And that living setup, it was Termo, Italy, was really cool. Like, we shared an apartment with like 4 of the players. Brennan and Ryan Hoover were right next door. And we just kind of left our doors open. We just went in and out. Then we had Jacob Jakes that was above us all. 6'10" guy, played Iowa. We love Jacob.
Yeah.
We have a pasta that we call Jacob's pasta because he taught us the recipe. And we'd like eat dinner tonight. We'd go after games. We'd go out and eat together. Like, it was a really fun little.
I got to be a real good cook in Italy and got to like learn like how to make actual Italian food. And a lady that lived close by us, Brenna, like it was just really fun, great food, and we learned a lot.
So your second one was born where?
In Gran Canaria, the island in Spain.
Okay. And I mean, everything seems to go a little fat along, right? You're good there.
That was great. You know, funny thing there is you have a lot of British people vacationing there. Just one thing in particular I always remember, like we'd have our daughter Bella, the older one, and she'd be crawling around the sand. She'd just be eating it. And she was a mess. And we'd get comments sometimes for some of these older British where we'd be like, not very good parents over here. And we're like, hey.
I was like, she's fine.
It's all right.
Was it tough for you to adjust to the overseas out of the country?
No, I freaking loved it. I like, people say I blend in very well, and people also say since I've been back, like you're still like you're so European, like everyone thinks you're European, but it was like the island life and the European life, like I love it. I loved going to breakfast in the morning with my girlfriends. You go to coffee shops, like all their meals are like events. Like here you just eat, drive through, blah, da, da, da. They make everything like a big deal. You know, they take breaks during the day, but the island lifestyle was so like chill and relaxed. Like the beach was outside our doors. Like every day I was at the beach. It was so like relaxing, great weather. And like I couldn't have picked a better place to have a baby or raise Bella. Bella turned 1 there. And I mean, he had a great season, and we got more offers. And
yeah, where did you guys? So you guys had your second child, and after that season, you ended up where?
So we played 2 seasons there, and then we went to Madrid.
Okay, and then you had yours at second and third, fourth.
Yeah,
third, fourth born in Madrid.
And you guys were pros by now about how to handle the whole labor thing. You were not taking any more photos with doctors. You were there on time.
No. And we actually had some little tender mercies at it. Like when she was getting close with, was it Jagger or was it both of them?
Both.
Jagger or Zoe, like I had a little injury that I couldn't go on a road trip. And so we kind of scheduled to induce her. And so I was home for that road trip and we had a baby. And it was great. It was actually some of the least stressful things as I was sitting there with her as she bounced on a ball and stuff like that to go through the whole labor situation.
Was the hospitals better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were better.
I mean, even on the island, like it was like nicer ish. It wasn't as bad as Italy, but yeah, Madrid was like, okay, this is like doable.
And did you ever get a chance? You got a chance to visit home, like come back home, see the family?
I always came. Well, we always came back for the summer.
Okay.
And then I tried to come back like between Christmas and like New Year's. Usually, you would spend like New Year's here or something. But yeah, I traveled back and forth. I can't remember. We counted how many times I've been back and forth with kids, and it was intense. Like my kids are champs. They can do a overseas plane ride like no one's business. Like we became professionals.
You make it, and I'm sure there's some modesty there somewhere, but you make it sound like this was a breeze for you as a mom and as a wife, and I'm sure as you hear that, you're probably thinking, no, moron, it was hard at times. So can I ask you, just from just for those moms who are overseas and or brand new at starting this journey, what were some of the hard moments that you went through, and how did you get through those?
There's a lot of hard moments, and a lot of hard moments that I was all alone. And I mean, every holiday, every birthday, everything was pretty much alone. We never had family over there with us. One Thanksgiving we did. But yeah, I had to totally like let go of everything back home and not care and know and like make a big deal about anything and just like know like my family's together, but that's where they're at. This is where I'm at. I'm where I need to be. And so yeah, I mean, it was hard to know that, you know, everyone's getting together for Christmas Eve and everyone's getting together to celebrate mom and dad's birthday and everything else. I missed births. I missed everything, everything, except for summer events. And it was really hard. But I also like couldn't complain. I was happy. My kids were healthy. We had a good life, and I just knew it wouldn't be forever. So I just like tried to like enjoy. And from day one overseas, we always said like, hey, we have to enjoy where we're at so we don't regret it later. Like let's travel wherever we're at. Let's eat at all the places. Let's try all the things. Let's go, you know, and so that's really how we lived. Like, we might not be here in a month. He could get hurt or released from a team. Like, we'd heard horror stories, and I mean, that wasn't our case ever, so we're blessed that way. But I mean, we never knew how long it would last, so everything was like, okay, another year. Okay, another year. So, I mean, other than just being away from family and missing like events, I also like had to put my dreams on hold. It wasn't my dream was to work at my mom's dance studio. And then I see my little sister come up and she works at it. And then my other little sister grow up and work at it. And then they all did it together. And like I had to like really learn to be super happy for them that they were all doing what they wanted to do. And I was where I needed to be. And my dreams and like aspirations and things like that were just going to have to be put on hold. So.
And what was it for you being, I mean, a 10-month basketball player, and you're away quite a bit from your wife, from your kids, your brand new father? Like, tell me the challenges of being an overseas professional basketball player.
Yeah, look, to begin with, it was as she said, it was a whirlwind. It was a dream come true. Like, hey, I'm in this city, I'm in this town, you know, I'm in Milan, I'm in Treviso, I'm in I'm in Cheska, I'm in Istanbul. Like, it was awesome. I mean, it was awesome what we could do. But for me, as it went on,
Did you get tired of it?
yeah, the travel. Look, I never had, for like first 5 or 6 years, I never had any fear of flying or anything like that. And I still don't, but those last few years, every time I got on a plane, I was like, oh, I hope this plane arrives. I hope everything goes smoothly. And all I wanted to do was get back home. Like, I want to go play, then get back home. And the things I wasn't very cognizant of, and afterwards, I've had to kind of sit back and kind of try to put myself in Baylee's shoes a little bit. I got on basketball team. I had a friend group built in. I had social interactions. I had a place I had to be. I got out in the world. And as I got on the road and I was going through those things, you know, looking back, just imagining, you know, what it was like for Baylee. We had kids, so she kept busy, but you know, she's in a house by herself when I'm on a 2-day road trip with little kids and no family to kind of help her. And I wasn't cognizant of how difficult it would be. Like, was that hard?
Yeah, I mean,
Was it terrible? Do you regret it?
no, I don't regret it because I knew we had to do what we had to do. I wanted you to be successful so we could move on to another team or a higher team. But like, I don't know. I I kind of just went in survival mode. Like, this is what we're supposed to be doing. I'm a mom. They're healthy. Like, just keep going. But I mean, I don't feel like I complained at all. But and I'm more a person where, okay, if I'm down or I'm bored or if I need something to do, because I'm a very active person, like I have to be around people. So yeah, I wasn't around my family, but in every place we went, I created my own family. So like whether it was other wives on the teams or most of my friends, almost 90% of my friends weren't team like wives. It was like ladies I met at the bank or when I was having coffee or down shopping on a street and they recognized me, or you know, and everyone's like, oh, I can't believe you're talking to me. But it's like, no, I have no one else to talk to. And we became friends and family. And they were the ones at Christmas. They were the ones at Thanksgiving. They were the ones that were at my kids' birthday party. They're the ones that celebrated victories with us and Sunday dinners. And they're still my family. Like, I spent time with them this summer when I would go to the island. And in Madrid, like Paula, Esme, Chibi, like it's just incredible the friends that I made. But I'm not one to like be like, poor me, I'm just gonna be here. Like, I went out, I found things to do. I took the car with the babies. I mean, it was an island, so I couldn't go too far. But like, I took the babies places. I explored by myself when I was there. Because yeah, he has gone a lot. And once he was in Madrid and in EuroLeague, like it was even more. Like he was all around in Spain and all around in Europe. Like it was, so I got comfortable in those first couple of years where I just had to be comfortable with myself and be confident into like making friends of my own.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And it was fun. Like some of her other friends were at the game. Like the season ticket holders, they had seats next to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
They loved her, and
Yeah.
and she'd get me to come up and say hi to them and all those things. You know, she mentioned it. We were both two very independent people. They came together to try and build something. And we're still like that. She's still like that. But I think me leaving, like I'm a little less independent now. I like to be around and not just be out doing things. And I think, you know, is probably something I miss from basketball, because there's probably some withdrawal from sitting and being in front of a crowd, and then you lose that attention. There's probably some, you know, I should be psychoanalyzed probably, but there's probably some things with that happen, and you try to find it in other places.
Was it hard? I mean, because being an Aggie legend and, you know, being around him during Utah State, I'm sure there was a college crowd or whatever, but then going overseas, like I've seen videos of Euro stars, basketball, soccer, rugby, whatever it is, and they are like gathered by masses of people. Was there a situation like with Jaycee being who he was and the great EuroLeague player he was, where he drew attention from a lot of people, and you had to handle that as a wife?
Oh, sure. And I was always like, hey, go sign the autographs, be there. We're going to go over here. Like, I always kind of just removed myself from the situation with the kids. But I said, Jaycee, like, you don't know. Even when it got, you know, he was almost sick of it. Like I said, that's everything to those people. Like, you doing that is like everything for them. So we're fine. We'll go over here. I mean, was it hard? Like, yes, when you have people like writing you, coming to your house, or bombarding your car, or breaking into your car, or other things, like it's intense, but like that's what makes like European sports so amazing. Like, they feel like the sports, soccer. I mean, we had like season tickets for Real Madrid, and it is other people's lives. They go to work, they go to games. Like, you will see grown men cry. Like, they are so passionate about their sports and about all the players they love. And so it was never like vicious or anything. It was always like, not always wonderful, but they were always so kind and respectful to our family. So it was never a big.
I was gonna ask, is there ever danger, like for your girls or kids?
For sure not. I felt so safe. I went everywhere. I took my kids over. None of the wives were like, what are you doing? Like, how are you doing that? And I'm just like, I'm not going to just stay home. So like, yeah, I took the kids on the bullet train. I went to Barcelona. I went everywhere. I took them to the city. Because I wanted to have the experience. I ran with the bulls. I just had Alba. And Jaycee went to Turkey, I believe. And I called one of my friends that was in my church. And I said, hey, I'm going to go run with the bulls. I just had a baby. Like, it was like, what, a month?
Yeah, it was a month. Like,
It was a month. And I was like, I am doing this. I don't know how long I'm going to be in Madrid. Like, we were so stoked we were with Real Madrid. Like, they only have, like, what, 2 Americans?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, there's no way he's, like, I mean, there was a way he stayed.
no, but we
But,
didn't know.
no.
We didn't know.
And
We did buy a house because it was like, this might be a year, it might be
I called my
1 and
aunt
2 years.
said, can you watch my baby while I go do something? And she's like, of course. And I was so pumped. I actually have it recorded of me almost getting speared by a bull.
Did you know about this before?
He didn't know.
No, she tells me afterwards, it sends me a video. I'm like, what are you doing?
Video. Okay, so I did what I did. I was the only girl in the whole place. Like, guys were looking at me like, what is she doing? And I was like, oh, like, I'm going to do this. This is going to be so fun. I'm a country girl. Like, bring it on. And anyways, the runs happened, and like the bulls are coming and they're getting closer and closer. And they are like smaller bulls, but they have like sharp points. And in the video, like, I put the phone kind of behind my head because I am running fast, like so fast. And so I have it just kind of behind me. I can't turn around. And I like jump on this fence like a cat, like sideways, just because there is a bull behind me. And you just see in the video, its horn just go right past the phone. And I'm like, I got in my car after that and I was shaking. And like, I was like, what in the hell was I thinking? I have a brand new baby and like, I have 2 kids. Like, why would I do this? And then like,
You're a badass for doing it.
and it's to Jaycee. Oh my gosh, the media and like his like our assistants and like his like Real Madrid staff, they were just like, oh my hell, Jaycee, your wife is crazy. They couldn't believe it. They just thought a lot of the wives are very they're different than me. They're raised more in the city. They're more
We'll have tea and
we'll have tea and scrumpet, and we'll count our shopping bags. But no, they were all friggin' amazing, but they were raised different than me, and so they were like, "Who is this? Like, what is she doing?" And like, but like I said, we went to Europe, and it was like we are gonna do everything and anything we can. And yeah, I wasn't gonna pass up an opportunity, but I put it on Facebook because that was like cool then, and everyone was like, "What's wrong with you?" But Jaycee's team listened to him went crazy. Jaycee just, I think he just shook his head like, I'm actually not surprised.
So you friend off from her, right? So you have a phone call before I hit the media.
Yeah, there were no words on mine, but I was like, well, what are we thinking? But then, super impressed. Like, that's the coolest thing in the world. Like, nice job. Like, like, that's cool.
Never do it again.
Yeah, don't do it again. Get it out of your system.
So your career concludes in Spain. Incredible career concludes in Spain. And you guys make the decision. Was it pretty quick that you're going to make a decision to come back here?
Carrie Nilton and her team at Gill Mortgage of Logan, Utah are committed to great customer service even after your loan closes. Karen and her team want you to experience knowledge, communication, and building that long-lasting business relationship. Make Gill Mortgage your trusting partner.
Yeah, we kind of always knew.
You knew you'd be back here.
We knew we'd be back here. We had just finished building a house, and so we knew this is where we'd be.
COVID kind of messed some things up, and then I wanted to be back here, and so I kind of jumped the gun a little bit and came back with the kids, and he stayed with Bella. Bella's on a good little traveling basketball team, and we made that family decision and kind of started our life here.
How hard was it to leave? or was it hard?
It was hard. That was my life. Those were my people. That was everything I've known. I was scared to come back. I didn't. I mean,
You're scared to come back, really?
yeah, I mean, I have family, but like, and friends, but like, I mean, everyone here, like, they had their groups. And I have to just be like, hi, I'm Baylee. And we make fun of it all the time, but a lot of people just be like, oh, you're Jaycee Carroll's wife. That's kind of what I'm famous for, but
Well,
I've tried
you think you've gotten out of that shadow?
a little bit. I started my studio, Mountain Valley Athletics, cheer and dance and gymnastics, and I love that. And I've kind of created my own like little community, and I got all of my dreams and everything. When I came back, I said, I'm hitting the ground running. And that's exactly what I did. I started coaching at Mountain Crest, and I started, doing my own studio plans, and bada bing, bada boom, it happened, and I loved it. And I feel like I have kind of my own little space, and JC has his, and he's coaching with Mountain Crest, and we just kind of have our own nicks and knacks, and our family's busy.
And you're the cheer coach at Mountain Crest, is that right? That's awesome. Before I get to our final topic about you, I do want to ask, with everything that JC's went through as a basketball player, 'cause I don't think it's talked about enough. Everyone sees JC, they think Utah State Aggie basketball player, EuroLeague basketball player. But as a husband and as a father, I want to give you a moment to at least talk about what you saw from him, what's made him, JC, the man you fell in love with, and the incredible father he is.
Yeah, so I fell in love with JC, a total different JC. Like, once he was a dad, he was a different version of himself, and I learned to fall in love with that. And with each kid and each move, I mean, you grow, you change, you have to fall in love with that person again at each step. So it's gotten deeper or different, or a different view or spin on it, on a relationship and a marriage each year and each new event. But with JC, he's pretty consistent. Like, he's just pretty much the same all the time. Like, you can depend on him. Like, he's just gonna be consistent, and with basketball and as a husband, and he, was there when he could be, but like, he wasn't there a lot. And it was hard on him too, and he was always like worried about us. But I mean, he did what he could, and we did what we needed to do for our family and our future. And we just, once that was our goal, like, nothing else really mattered. We just changed with whatever we were doing.
It's amazing. You got a pretty good wife.
Oh yeah.
No wonder you were so popular for your freshman. Oh yeah, you knew way ahead of.
I knew what I had. I knew what the package was. I knew everything that she could add to my life. I had some very specific things that I knew were gonna be important to me, and one of them was that I was gonna have a home that friends and family could gather. And if everyone knows Baylee, there's no one that brings more friends and family and our kids' families or friends into this house. Like, it really is extraordinary what she gives these cheerleaders. Sometimes I tease her. I'm like, holy cow, is this part of the job description? We're doing a Halloween party out here. We're doing Columbus Day party. Any opportunity.
Or like, they just come here and read my closet.
Okay.
Or eat my food.
But they feel welcome to do that because she's created that atmosphere in that house. And I just know that that's kind of a fulfilled, self-fulfilled whatever of what I knew was going to be in my life. And she's filled that completely.
It's awesome. Baylee, I gotta tell you a story. We were doing some NIL deals, and someone came to me to the idea that they wanted to do them with cheerleaders. That they feel like cheerleaders need to be given the same benefits as student athletes are because they're athletes. Cheer the sport, they need to be given those opportunities. When we spoke to the university, they said that's not the case. that they're not athletes, that it is a different spectrum of sports, if you would, and that it would be illegal to help benefit cheerleaders. From coming from you, I wanted to get just the business side of Baylee and what cheerleaders go through like now, and what can the university, what can the school, or what can NCAA do to help make cheerleaders' lives better, more livable, more habitable, so that they can actually experience a good experience at college besides just doing cheer.
Yeah, I mean, to say that we're not athletes is crazy. The hours we put in and the time we spend at all of the events, like we went to everything. And cheerleaders in high school and college do that. And as a high school cheerleader, you have to be so driven to want to go to the next level. It's not for everyone. And you can't just go to Utah State and be like, I want to be a cheerleader. Like, you have to have your stuff together. And even when I made it, that wasn't the end for me. When I made it, I'd work my butt off. Like, great, I made it, but like, I had to work so hard. It wasn't the easiest thing. And all the time we put in and all the events we go to, we're there before the football game doing, pep rallies and stuff. I mean, even high school cheerleaders, like, they go to every sport, have practiced more, and it's not just one season. It's not just a basketball season. It's, as a cheer coach, I'm like, the whole year I'm their coach, like, and we are doing stuff. So to say like we're not athletes is so crazy. And to have someone have enough like drive to go from high school to college, like, that deserves something. I mean, we did get books paid for or some, and a few other things, but it was just to have like that weight lifted off your shoulders of being a college athlete or a cheerleader for a university. Just, we had to work, we had to do everything to pay our bills, but then we were at every event, all the other people were with every sport. I mean, it's just crazy. They do so much. They represent the school. They don't represent just the basketball team or the football team. They're the face of the whole university. Like, take care of these athletes, like, help them out, like, give them something so they represent you even better. But the mentality of a cheerleader is like, you're there for the fans, you were there for entertainment. I mean, we are there for all of that. And we do it with a smile on our face and rain or shine. And it's just a pity, honestly, that they can't figure out something to do more for them and that they're not considered athletes when, the most dangerous sport or dangerous activity of all sports or injury. And like, we have to be in shape. We have to stay in shape. We have to also, be well groomed and well spoken and be in front of people and be in front of donors and sponsors and, the most important people from the university. So, I mean, to not like have a benefit is pretty crazy to me, but I think it'll change.
What would you, and I was going to ask you, do you think it will change, and what would you like to see those changes be for those cheerleaders to be able to get?
Honestly, just like even what they do for everyone else, or the minimum of what they do for anyone.
I always saw like NIL deals would work so great with cheerleaders. Like you said, they're so well groomed, they're well spoken, they are very high. And a lot of
You guys are being really nice. Like, you're using the word well groomed. They're pretty girls. They're cute girls. They're good looking.
But we didn't wake up like that, most of us.
So yeah, I agree, and she's absolutely right. I watch these cheerleaders, like, we got basketball season and it's boom and then it's done. These high school cheerleaders and the ones going to college, she said it. They're at football, they're at men's basketball, they're at women's basketball, they're at volleyball,
Girls wrestling, boys wrestling.
They're at pep assemblies, they're at booster events in college, they're at the at the country club on the holes for the Big Blue golf tournament. Like, to somehow say that somehow they're not entitled to NIL deals is a little
back. It's asinine to me. Like, and because really, they really are like they bring so much to the table. And like if a business was smart, they would say, I would like to have Utah State cheerleaders come over and help promote my business.
Oh yeah.
Because social media wise, they know it better than anybody else, especially student athletes.
And right now, they have the cutest cheer coach and the cutest girls on their team.
They do.
Definitely do that.
What is the biggest adjustment from being high school cheer to college cheer? For those who are listening that are in high school cheer and they want to be a college cheerleader, what is the biggest adjustment to it?
The biggest adjustment is just you feel like you're in the spotlight in high school. This is a whole nother level. You represent like a university. You have to hold yourself accountable for everything. It's not mommy and daddy waking up for cheer practice. You're waking up at 5 a.m. and you're getting yourself there and you're making sure your uniforms are washed and everything. Like you have to totally have such a love for the sport that you can do it on the worst days and wake yourself up. There's no one there telling you what to do. A coach isn't going to say, have your mom bring your cheer shoes. Like you're responsible for yourself and you have to schedule things yourself. You have to, be on time. It depends on no parent. And actually, a college coach, cheer coach, usually doesn't want to deal with parents. They usually don't because they're grown adults, the cheerleader. And so it's like, step up, be a big person. So it's a whole nother level, but it's also a whole nother level of awesomeness. Like it's amazing. It like made who I was with my coach and the teammates I had. So, I mean, yeah.
Where, do you remember what your tryout was like when you were going to go to Utah State and be a cheerleader?
Yes, I was an alternate for the Aggie-ettes. And then I was told, I was a cheerleader in high school.
Okay.
But I danced my whole life. So I was like, oh, I'm going to do Aggie-ettes. I wasn't a flyer in high school. Anyways, I decided, they said the next week is cheer tracks. Like, we want you to try for cheer. So, I mean, I had guys step up and be like, I'm going to stunt with you. I'm going to teach you. And I learned really quick. In college now, you have to know how to dance a little bit too, now with cheer. And kind of all my favorite things about cheer, I got to do as a cheerleader at the university. And, I just worked hard and kind of like dug my head down and said, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. And I did it. And like I said, after I made it, like it wasn't over. It wasn't like, oh, I'm a cheerleader, I'm great. Like I still had to work my butt off.
What were the biggest benefits of being a college cheerleader for you? Besides meeting Jaycee, what were the biggest, like, for you mentally, emotionally? Where did you grow most?
Just growing up, I noticed a lot of my friends who went to like community colleges or colleges that weren't as long or they weren't involved in activity. It was just senior year too. Like I really had to just grow up, take care of myself, like work, find time to do homework and study hall and games. And I just had to totally be organized and I grew up, but also like with it, just meeting a whole different spectrum of friends from religion, race, everything was like so amazing to me. And I love it. And that's like my favorite thing of being overseas even was like to learn about all these religions and races and like to respect and learn how they are and, how everyone lives so differently and that how we all can live together. Like it was just like a real eye-opening experience that I don't think everyone gets unless they put themselves out there. So,
to wrap it up, biggest pet peeve of Jaycee.
Do you have a pen and paper?
We are a podcast, so listen.
Okay, let's see. He can't put things in the dirty clothes. They just like wherever they fall, they fall. He tries to get better. He is hanging up his towel now.
Where'd it go, Jaycee?
Hi.
As you speak.
I'm more like if I get in a fight, like I need space and like a timeout. Like, okay, nothing I'm going to say right now is good. Leave me alone. And I will literally say this to him. Jaycee, I'm upset. Whatever comes out of my mouth is not going to be good. So walk away. And he will seriously be like, no, well, say it now.
I could see that.
Or I'll be like, I will say, Jaycee, I'm going to shut this door and I'm going to lock it. Don't put your hand out. I just need some time. I will shut the door. Dum, 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 dum. Hey, like, we just, and I'm like, Jaycee, please. Like, he is very, like I said, consistent. He's not going to back down, or I just need to, like, cool off. Like, he's like, nope, let's figure it out now and be done and over with it. And I'm like, I can sit on this baby for 5 days. So
Why sit on something for 5 days that can be?
I wasn't on it. Right? So, like,
It's
give me 20 minutes or a half a day, or just go away. Walk.
I've gotten so much better though, right?
So much better, because I, like, threaten him. I'm like, oh my good help. Do you want me to write this down for you? Walk away for 2 seconds. Or, like, I'll be like, it's 12 at night. Whatever I'm going to say to you is probably going to hurt your feelings or make this fight be even bigger. So just, like, give me some space. But that's probably the biggest thing. I think he's a horrible driver. He, like, stops way too fast. I'm always like, holy heck. And I get car sick super easy, but whenever he drives, I almost vomit. He doesn't like to go shopping.
I'll go shopping
If he's in the mix,
when we know, when it's like, well, I've got this money, I have things I need.
if he like, okay, we're going to get pants, we're gonna go get pants. But then if I stop at any other store, like, oh, that's an earring store, I'm gonna go get Bella some, like, it's like so annoying. Like, I literally have to walk in a store and walk out, and that's not me, dude. I'm a wanderer. I, like, want to see things. My favorite place, Europe shopping, like, the style in Europe is, like, bar none. Like, I go there with an empty suitcase a couple times a year. That's where I get my clothes, everyone. And I don't know. I love, if you go shopping, for anyone, guys, girls, whatever, young bucks, whatever. You go shopping, do you ever see a mean person or an ornery person or someone crying? I mean, in Walmart.
Yeah,
maybe.
the dads and husbands sitting outside the store waiting for the wives.
Belong there. They don't belong.
Hey, yeah.
No, but when you go shopping, no one's, like, yelling or anything. Everyone's kind of chipperish. They have bags in their hand or food bags in their hand, or, you know, whatever. Whoever they are, they're there because they have some time or they need something, and they're happy. They're doing that. And I like to do that. I like to be around freaking happy, positive people. And so be it. If they're dropping some cash or something, I'm there for it.
And I'm okay with it. Like, I've gotten better with it. Like, we did date night the other day. We went to Salt Lake and we ate dinner, and I think I was okay shopping, right?
I don't think I bought anything, so you know.
Oh, you got a hat and
Oh my gosh, we went to a sporting store
we got some Christmas
and
gifts.
looked at a jersey for our son, and I did get a hat, but, like, one little
All right.
It was
so
it was great, but, like, it wasn't like an adventure. It wasn't a shopping adventure. I think I walked in, like, one store and I was like, okay, your vibe is killing me. Let's go. He, like, will suck the life out of a room when he, like, doesn't want to be somewhere. So I was like, okay, we're done.
He done that kid podcast too, or
Yeah,
like, he
it's
wants to
just
do
like
that.
my
Yeah,
job.
yeah, I know.
It's like, done.
I feel your pain.
Done.
do I get to list my pet peeves?
No, you do not, because this is Baylee Carroll.
I mean,
We're doing a podcast with. So
she's too good looking.
Oh, Bart.
She's too kind.
you know,
She's too patient.
it's your first
So
fight.
that's-
Remember,
She was good at cooking.
First fight. Oh, we've had so many.
what was your first one?
It would have been over, like, our first fight, like, dating was definitely over someone else or something like that. Something ridiculous. I don't know. First fight? I don't know. You? Yep.
I can't remember the first fight.
Dude, the first fights, I wish I could remember the first fights, because then it would make the other ones look like
Nothing. Yeah.
nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes, Jaycee.
And I think that's the nice thing about being with somebody that you love and trust is you can say honest things, and sometimes you say hard things because you know that they'll be there, and you do move on and forget and move forward if you can, if you forgive and forget and move forward.
Just let the door be shut for 20 minutes. I think you maybe I rolled
that's
quick.
it. Not even 20. Give me 5 freaking minutes just to, like, compose myself.
Favorite Italian recipe you would like to cook?
Oh, risotto.
Mm-hmm. She does a good risotto. That's one of my favorite things with risotto is.
It's like
Yes, sir.
creamy rice. You would spend an hour just like stirring it little by little. Get the rice al dente, like just get the rice perfect.
4 cheeses. 4 different kind of cheeses, and as you could add little mushrooms. You could add the truffle on top too if you're special. A little olive oil and Parmesan. Oh my goodness.
Like that. Baylee, this is your podcast. Anybody want to give a shout out to, say hello to friends, former cheerleader friends?
Oh my goodness, all my cheerleader friends, like they all know who they are. Like Mitch, he's a doctor. Caleb, he's a doctor. Like I have such great memories and friends, and all my girls, Marissa and Katie, and I mean my family. Like everyone has such a big impact in my life. If you're a part of my life, you know that I appreciate you because I make sure you know that. And I mean, it's been a great experience for me and my family, and I've met the most amazing people along the way, and I want to change it for the world.
And I finished with we've talked about past. What are future hopes and dreams?
Are you asking me?
Mm-hmm. Future hope and dreams.
Future hopes and dreams. Honestly, to keep building my business, keep doing what I love. Everyone's like, oh, you're so busy right now. I can't believe you're doing this and this and this. But like, honestly, my happy place is busy. If I don't watch TV. I don't sit around. Like if I was to sit around, that drives me crazy because I always have something to do. And I love being busy. I love being involved with, the youth, athletes, and yeah, it's my happy place to be busy. And so in 10 years, or what was it, hopes and dreams?
For 5 years.
In 5 years is just build the business, keep doing what I want to do, and be happy.
Well, let's promote your business really quickly. Where can they find you?
It's Valley Athletics. We're on Instagram, or you can contact me on Instagram, Baylee Carroll. And my business is awesome. I have the most amazing staff, and we just like promote a safe, positive environment to learn and grow in cheer and dance. And I want them to be high school cheerleaders, but also learn some big things to go to the next level and be a college cheerleader and not be small-minded and just want to be minimal. Like whether that's in life or cheer or a sport or whatever they do. I have soccer players, I have dancers, I have girls that don't want to do anything after high school or even high school. It's just like give someone my energy with what I love, and then they can interpret that however they want or put it into their own lives or their own sport. And honestly, just be like a positive role model and a safe place to be and learn and grow and cheer and dance. So
Let's see. And she's great. They do unbelievably good job. And you see on her, with it comes to her high school cheerleader, where her program was 4 years ago, she first took over to now. It's in so much better place. Everything she touches improves. And you send a little girl there, she'll have positive, wonderful experiences for sure.
It's awesome. Baylee, been an absolute blast to talk with. That was a lot of fun. Thank you for doing it. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. Jaycee, will see you in 4 weeks, I guess. Another podcast.
Get us something next week. Maybe part 2 with Baylee.
Yeah, wait.
I know where she lives.
we're done.
We are right. Yeah, and she ain't doing this ever again. And I'm gone. I just told you my schedule. Oh, yeah, I remember.
I'll probably be sick.
Yeah, you're probably gonna be sick, wrapped up in another blanket. You're like, I got a cold. I can't do it.
Cool.
I never get sick. All right, for Jaycee, Baylee, I'm Audrey Salas, and thanks for listening to Unequal.
Bridgeland Adventure Park is closed for the 2024 summer. That doesn't mean you can't start thinking about next summer. Bridgeland Adventure Park's already accepting reservations for group parties next year. Corporates, family groups, youth groups, you name it. Bring them all out and experience an adventure with us. Located at 722 South First Light Drive in Garden City, Utah, you can call at 435-946-2246 or visit the website at blap.rocks.
She's a fire, burning up my tree.